Hello my kids, hope you all are safe at home. Today we'll start with the videos of the next chapter. It's chapter 7, Weather, Climate and Adaptations of Animals to Climate. So this is a new chapter. We are having in total 3 videos in this chapter. So today we'll start with video 1. And in today's video we'll be studying about weather and climate. Okay? Yes, weather. What does weather mean? Weather means it's the day-to-day condition of atmosphere at a particular place with respect to temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, etc. Now, all these things which we told right now, temperature, humidity, rainfall, etc. of a particular place, you call them as the elements or the factors of weather. You call them as the elements or factors of weather. Okay. Now, the weather of a place, these factors, these elements are not stable. They keep on changing. The temperature of a place will always change. The humidity of a place will change. The rainfall patterns will change. That means all these factors are never stable. They keep on changing. And when these factors change, definitely the weather of that place will also change. Okay. Now, weather of a place keep on changing. Hence, you can call it as a very complex phenomenon because it is unpredictable. You cannot predict it. It is very difficult to be predicted. Okay, for example, a fine morning you are waking up, you will be having a very fresh day, a very sunny day you will be having. Sometimes by afternoon, the clouds and all will come and appear, it will start heavily raining. Okay, again after 2 hours you can see that the clouds have all disappeared again, it started becoming sunny again. That means you cannot predict what happens next to our climate, what happens next to our weather. Okay, so it's a very difficult thing to predict our weather. Okay, now all the weather patterns, all the changes in our weather, all the different elements of our weather will keep on changing, and all these changes are caused by our sun only. You know, sun is the primary source of energy for our earth. We get heat and light from sun, and on the basis of that only the weather pattern of a place can be determined. So, the weather of a place, it's caused, the change in weather of a place, it's caused by sun. Okay, now we can study in detail, or we will see one by one all the elements of weather. What was the first element which we saw there? It was temperature. Temperature is the first element of weather. And what is temperature? It is the measure of hotness and coldness of a place. Okay, now you use an instrument called as a thermometer. Okay, a maximum and a minimum thermometer can be used to measure temperature of a place. Now, you can measure the maximum temperature of a place during afternoon, and when will you measure the minimum temperature of a day? You can measure it during early morning hours. Okay, so in a day the maximum temperature will be shown during the afternoon time, and the minimum temperature can be recorded during the early morning. Okay, yes. Next, the second element is humidity. Humidity means it's a measure of moisture content in air in a particular place. And you use an instrument, see this instrument, it is a hygrometer, hygrometer. This is an instrument which is used to measure humidity. Now coming to the third element, it is rainfall. It is the amount of rain which is falling in a particular place. And you use a rain gauge for measuring this rainfall. This is the instrument, rain gauge. Okay. So with this, the topics on weather is over, the elements of weather is also over. Now moving on to the next topic, it is climate. Okay, now you know what is weather. The day-to-day conditions will give you a measure of weather. But how will you measure the climate, or how will you determine the climate of a place? It is the average weather pattern over a long period of time. Day-to-day conditions if you are taking, it's very difficult to calculate the climate of a place. By seeing today what's the weather, by checking today's weather we cannot determine the climate of that area. Okay, today it's very much raining. in our Thevara, we cannot tell that Thevara is having a wet climate by seeing a single day's weather, by checking a single day's weather. But the weather pattern, when we take it over a long period of time, say somewhere around 25 years and all, okay, you will get the climate of that place. Okay, so the average weather pattern of a place over a long period of time will give you the climate of a place. Now, for example, a place, it's having most of the time of the year or most part of the year, the particular place is having a very high temperature. You can tell that the climate of that place is a hot climate. Got it? Then another example, for most of the part of the year, that particular place is getting heavy rain. You can call the climate as a wet climate. Okay, another place. In that particular place, most of the part of the year there is the temperature is very high. Along with that, that region is also getting enough amount of rainfall. You can call the climate as hot and wet climate. Understood, children? How can you tell the climate of a place? Okay, now see, accordingly, the western regions of India will have a hot and dry climate. Okay, most of the part of the year, it is the temperature of that place is very dry, the temperature is very high. Okay, rainfall is very less. Whereas, northeastern regions of India will have a wet climate. That means, this eastern parts of India will receive more rainfall. Hence, they have a wet climate. Okay, children? Yes. Now, now I told you the different parts of a region will be having, the climate of a particular place will be changing, isn't it? For example, western part of India will be having one climate, eastern part of India will be having another climate. Now, when the climate of a place change, according to the climate, the type of animals and plants living in that area will also change. It's a definite thing, isn't it? The plants and animals in a particular place will change according to the climate of that place. Or the plants who are living in a particular area, the animals living in a particular area, they are well adapted to live there because their body have certain features which will help them to live in that particular climate. So, animals have special adaptations within them which help them to live in a specific climate. Okay, in this chapter you will be studying in detail about the animals living in polar regions and the animals living in tropical regions. You will be studying about their adaptations, how they adapt to live in such conditions. Okay, now just look into this map. In this map, it's very clear that, see, in our earth, near to the equator, the regions near the equator, we know equator is near to the regions of equator, direct sunlight will be coming and falling. So, definitely the temperature will be high. So, the regions will be having a hot climate. See, the climate of that region will be very hot. So, and you call them as the tropics. So, understood? The tropical areas will be having a hot climate because they are situated near to the equator. They will be receiving direct sunlight. But see, the extreme ends of this earth, they will be having a cold climate. See, and you call them as the polar zones, polar regions. It is our North Pole and our South Pole. The polar regions, in the polar regions, direct sunlight cannot be available. Hence, it is very cold there. You call them as the North Pole and the South Pole, polar regions. Okay. So, in this chapter, we will be studying in detail about the polar zone and about the plants and animals living in the tropics. So, hope children, this video was clear. It's a short video on climate and weather. Study it properly. See you with the next video. Bye.